Good morning and good afternoon. So we're back from summer break. We've had a few months off. Some of you probably haven't touched Photoshop in a while and maybe forgot where some of your tools are located. These first couple tutorials are going to just help us remember where things are and apply them in one or two different ways. And to start off, we are going to do a Warhol-esque pop art piece. So the very first thing you're going to need to do is send yourself a photo that you've taken, because today you're going to complete a Photoshop tutorial so that you can remember where layers are and how to use them, where to find your filters and your blend modes, and probably a couple other things. You'll know that you've gotten it when you complete your Warhol-esque portrait. You save it as a JPEG and submit it up to Schoology. And you have a page in your sketchbook with some notes on where these major functions are found. Now for your art history snippet. We'll keep these little art history things short and sweet. The style that today's tutorial covers is a pop art style. It was originated in the mid 1950s, and why should you care? Well, we're in digital art. We are not in a traditional art class. So in the mid 1950s, the pop art style challenged the question of what is art. So going beyond like the fine art styles and subject matter, and started incorporating things from popular culture, comics, and advertising within its subject matter. Without the pop art movement, we might not necessarily have digital art being considered an art class. So the person of importance for this lesson is Andy Warhol, basically the godfather of pop art. He is most famous for his series on Campbell soup cans, as well as his series on Marilyn Monroe. The art piece that you see in front of you is the Marilyn diptych. A diptych is just basically just two images put side by side. So the left one was done in color and the right one was black and white. This series was done, I believe, right after Marilyn Monroe's death. And it was a commentary on both art and popular culture at the same time. There is a Warhol Museum in Pennsylvania. Let's move on to our lesson. Once you have the totally normal picture of yourself open, you're going to have a couple different ways that you can set up your mask and your selecting options. So, I got my first picture of me, a picture of how I feel in the morning, and a picture of how I feel in the afternoon. The very first thing you can do is you can go down here to your mask select tool. I've already done this once. With the mask select tool, you want to be on the paintbrush. And what you want to do is when you start masking, you're going to want to go around, try and stay relatively close to what you want for your lines. You can change the size of your brush if you need to. Once you've selected your thing that you want, then you're going to go to your paint bucket fill. You'll fill it and just press your mask. So now I've masked around it. I can come down here to the bottom right down underneath the N, there's a box with a circle. Let's move that. Oop. There you go. So the little box with a circle. This is my mask tool. And I'm like, oh, wait, what just happened? Well, I can just go down and up here in properties, I can invert it. So now I've masked out this head. I can also, in properties, go to select subject. It'll take a minute to think. The laptops that you are issued from school might blow up when you try and do that because it has to think. Now you'll see that it has selected my subject for the most part really well. And I can do the mask. Now, the more busy your background is, the worse that selection is. However, you can refine it with select and mask. So if I click the refine, now I have these options over here for quick selection, refine edge, and brush tool. And you can see right here, it didn't select this as part of my mask. If I want to add this to, because I want the backpack too, say I just clicked and dragged over it. Let's say I don't want something for some reason. Like I don't want that again. So I'm going to go to the minus, and then I can deselect it. Just kind of get rid of the backpack. And you can refine hair. So if you want to get all those little wispy bits of hair, this is where the refine hair is. And when you're happy with whatever you got, you hit OK. You can also, feeling good me. This is how I look in the mirror, and you should all agree with me. You can go down and pick remove background or select subject. If I do remove background, it actually creates a mask and gets rid of the background. And then I can again go back in and modify my mask selection by clicking the mask selection and then coming down here and refining it. So I can select a mask so if I miss something that I needed. So those are your three ways of getting a mask and mask selection. You should take a moment, pause the video, and write those down. Now in order to not damage our image, we're going to want to come up here. So I'm selected on the layer that has the me, me in the mirror. I'm going to select up here and I'm going to convert it to a smart object. Now that deleted my entire background because I don't need my background for this. Now we're going to change our image overall. To create a pop art effect, we actually want lower resolution. We don't want like maximum resolution. So if you want to mess around with your image, changing the size of things and how much it goes to, blah, 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 blah. So if you want to mess around with your image, you can change the image size, the canvas size, image rotation. So like image size right here, it's telling me that this resolution is at 72, which is good for what I'm doing. Yours might be at like 200, 300, like whatever. You can change it somewhere in the 70s is fine. They're just gonna hit OK. Oh, okay. A helpful tool for you is if you hold Control and 0. See how it just popped it to fill the frame? So if I zoom a whole bunch, look at those pixels. I'm like, oh, I don't want to zoom out again. Is it Control 0? Or if I zoom out a bunch, I'm so tiny. Control 0. Now for backgrounds, you can add a layer right down here, or you can go to Layer, New, Layer. And in this first one, we're just going to do straight up paint bucket fill. And like, oh, okay, yeah, it's too high up. Let's make sure we move it. Whee, there we go. All right, so now it's behind him. See, I missed a little bit of the ear there when I was doing the selection. Not that big of a deal for this kind of a thing, but probably should have double checked before I did that. Now I'm gonna go back up here, select layer 1. I'm gonna fill it with, oh, if you hold down on it, I'm gonna go with the gradient tool. Let's select gradients. Oh, mode normal. There we go. Boom. Now I have two different options. Ooh, options. Now, if your photo is in color still, you're gonna want to go to the adjustments, which is down here, or you can go adjustments up here, and you want to make it black and white. So if I click down here, I can select, and you can select black and white. Also, if you don't have very good contrast, in other words, everything's like a mid-gray once you turn it black and white, you can go down here and you can increase your brightness and contrast. Let's say I need any other kind of adjustment. I can mess around with my curves. Then if I select the layers that I want to merge, I can merge the layers so that way it only affects the layer that I wanted to affect, which was this picture. Now I want to go to filter. Oh, image mode, RBG. Don't merge. Filter gallery. Okay, there we go. Alright, so what happened was I couldn't do my filter gallery because my image was in CMYK, which is good for printing, but not good for filter gallery. So make sure you're in RGB mode. Now I can turn this off again. Filter gallery. Now here's where you're going to get a whole bunch of options to do weird stuff. You can crank and play around with stuff. What we're going to use though is we're going to use halftone pattern. We're going to use dot filter gallery. There we go. All right. Make sure you don't have a color here selected or else it's going to affect what you're doing. You can mess around with the size for whatever you think is going to look good for what you're doing. Mess around with the contrast. A little bit higher contrast usually tends to work a little bit better, but you still want to be able to see some of the details. And select OK. Now we're going to go to filter. Now here's where you can even do more stuff. Like you could stylize it to be oil paint. Or you can pixelate it. Okay, so there's all sorts of stuff you can do, but what we're going to do for this one is filter, sharpen, smart sharpen, crank the amount, crank the radius, and reduce the noise. Then hit OK. Well, that's weird. Oh, remove Gaussian blur. There we go. Alright, so you gotta mess around with things to get the effect that you want. Yeah. Halo mode. There we go, I like that. Gonna hit OK. Alright, now I can add a layer. Now we're gonna want to change our blend mode to multiply. And we'll pick a color for our skin. Paintbrush. So it doesn't destroy any of the stuff that's underneath it, but it does like blend colors together. It just doesn't really affect your blacks. Now, if I'd wanted to not have the blending in the background, I can go back and do that. Or I could have done a select subject. So that would give me this. So if I wanted to make sure that I was coloring in the lines, I can select subject, add a layer. Now what's happening is, see I'm on this layer 5 and I got the this still highlighted, so I can go back in and with a, you don't want to do normal, you want to do multiply. Let's go with, so if I select the subject again and I want to do a different color, I can. There we go, that's better. Now I can do select, delete, select, add a layer, just mess around with some hair color. What I'm going to do is color in this hair color. And then we're going to see what some of these other modes do. So let's see. If we go to dissolve, darken, multiply, you barely see it. Color dodge. Getting some Incredible Hulk action going on here. Like inverse Hulk. So when I decided to do this with like my actual self. So when I opened my actual picture and did this, I had my where I had deleted it, put it in a background, did a layer with multiply, did a layer with multiply, did a layer with multiply. So there's a lot of ways you can go about this. This is me goofing around, just showing different effects of things. And this is me trying a little bit more to make something look like I'd colored a black and white photo. So I'd like for you to go through, create yourself as a pop art image, and then save it. So save a copy to your computer. Remember to make it the pop art tutorial with your name.